Okay, grade schoolers, we're going to talk about watercoloring today, and on our watercolor palettes. These are called watercolor palettes, and if we open them, they have all different colors inside. Okay, so we want to make sure we keep those colors nice and pretty. I'm going to show you how. Our watercolor palettes come in these baskets with 2 watercolors that you will share with the people at your table. They need to stay inside the basket. Then we have these waters, one on each end, and they are square so that way they don't tip over. So how these watercolors work is they only work if you get them wet. So let's get our brush wet. So swish, swish, scrape, scrape, and then we're gonna dab, dab on our paint, which means pretty much we're just gonna brush on top of it a couple of times. You do not need to press very hard. Then we are going to try to paint. And use all of that paint. Go nice and slow. Easy on the brush, back and forth. You do not need to press very hard. Okay. Then, let's say I want to change colors. I'm going to go swish, swish, scrape, scrape, dab, dab, and paint. Okay? And you want to not push very hard. You do not need to push this brush into the paint or anything. Swish, swish, scrape, scrape, paint. It's real nice, real soft. Staying inside the lines. Okay, so my blue is still wet. So instead of going into the water, I could just go right to my paint again, since it's still wet, and use that to paint. Okay, now let's say I want to change colors. You go swish, swish, scrape, scrape, dab, dab. We're just pretty much petting our paint so that way it's nice and even. We do not need to push in there. And then paint. When you have your whole circle finished, you're gonna raise your hand and get it checked. And your brushes, you swish them in the water, then you leave them in the water for them to be cleaned later. Hope you guys have fun trying to paint.